Where's my mic? There it is. There we go. Right, we're back. Hello. Apologies for that. Press the wrong button. Technical hitch and all that. Yeah, so hopefully that's fixed it. There we go. Yeah, it's working. Excellent. Oh, and the intro's already started. There we go. How are we all? Welcome to Saturday. It is time for yet another Frontier Elite 2 retro stream. We are playing is it 16-bit or 32-bit? I think it's 16-bit, isn't it? A 16-bit game from days of yore. Or the 90s, as I like to call it. It is 16-bit. It goes back to that intro sequence way too fast. Let me get my position loaded. Now, where was I? We were here. No, it wasn't that one. It was that one. There we go. So we're live and in game. Let me just tweak the game volume down because I know that was making some funny noises last time. There we go. 16-bit 8086 in real mode, says Commander Covenator. 386 SX here for me. Yes, I think I played this on the 386 SX. I think that reminds me of that's a long time ago, isn't it? Because what did it go? 8086 was the original. Actually, well, 8088 I think is the original chip. Then the 8086, the 286, the 386. Then it did this SX and DX thing, which I must admit I never really understood. Then there was the 486. There wasn't a 586, was that? That was the Pentium. Then it went Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. I sort of started losing track at that point. And then it became very, very complicated, and then we ended up where we are today. And I've got no idea what's inside my computer anymore. I think it's got an I on it. Okay, it's now an I something. I've got an i7, I know that. But I don't know what any of that stuff means anymore. I lost it really. After the 286, 386, 486 Pentium sort of made sense, and then it all got a bit. Then there was Core 2s and Duos, and hey, anyway, got far too confusing. Like all sorts of things. I think I stopped paying attention. I think that's more the case. Minimum requirement is a 286. Is it? Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And of course, it was available. This game was available on the Commodore Amiga and the Atari ST as well. And Intel devised the Pentium name for trademark reasons. Yes, I suppose that's true actually, because you could do you couldn't copyright a number, could you? So they couldn't copyright 486 because other people used it. I think that maybe that was part of the problem. That makes sense. So yeah. So there we go. Now, what were we doing? This. A week is a long time in Elite, and I've been quite busy, as you probably noted, and I've totally and utterly forgotten where we were. I know we had a lot of trouble last week. The SX didn't have the numeric code processor on the chip. That's right, yes, and you could buy it as an additional thing though, couldn't you? And plug it into a slot or something on some motherboards, I think. I remember the DX being the sort of full fat version, which nobody in the business I was in at the time ever bought. We only ever had the SX. A week passes in the second year, especially if you press the time streamer button. Anyway, it's lovely to see all of you. Thank you very much for all turning up on a Saturday afternoon. It is a really miserable, wet and horrible Saturday afternoon here in the UK in Kent. We actually had some snow this morning, which then turned to rain and totally spoilt it before I was able to get out on the dog walk. So then I just had to walk the dog in the rain, which wasn't very nice at all. It was freezing cold and raining, which is about the worst combination, I think. I don't mind snow. Snow I quite like, because at least it's pretty and it's a bit different. Whereas rain at just above zero is probably one of my least favourite weather conditions. So there we go. Right, anyway, we have... Where are we? What's happening? Where am I? No snowman. Phil, hello, good to see you. Still snow here way up north, says Commander Sinclair. Yep. Snow is just cold water. Yeah, I know it is. But down here in Kent, I suppose we're too far south. We haven't seen proper snow for years now, probably at least a decade. And I suppose we're unlikely to now, what with climate change and all that kind of cobblers. So anyway, we are in the Sahoa star system in the Imperial space. I think we had we'd had trouble getting back here, and the ship was all busted up. And I'd made a very risky run, which had sort of paid off, even though I kind of cheated with the save games, to get the ship back here. Looks like The hull, yeah, there we go. Look, the hull condition is 57%. It's a bit banged up, my spaceship at the moment. So we're here in Imperial Space. Now the objective, Phil. Yeah, so Phil, you may not have caught all the previous streams. The objective, I've set myself an objective in Frontier Elite 2, to get an Imperial Clipper, because I do need to demonstrate to all the Elite Dangerous fans why not an Imperial Clipper. What am I talking about? I'm so confused now. I need to get an Imperial Courier. That's right. Anyway, okay. In Frontier Elite 2, to demonstrate to all the Elite Dangerous commanders why the Imperial Courier that they know in Elite Dangerous is wrong. Okay. So I've set myself the objective of getting an Imperial Courier in this game, where the Imperial Courier first existed, and show you how majestic and beautiful a ship, in fact, it actually is. And there's nothing wrong with the Imperial Courier in Elite Dangerous. It's just not the same ship. Okay, it's like the Courier in Elite Dangerous is a dinky little fighter, whereas in this game it's a majestic, huge, enormous beast of a ship. And it's probably the best ship in game, to be honest. It's the one that you saw in the intro sequence. Okay, so if you don't know that ship that's in the intro sequence is the Imperial is the Imperial Courier. And it does all sorts of cool things, which we'll get to when we eventually manage to buy one. But it is Imperial. Well, of course, that means it's the best, Phil. that's unarguable. I mean, what's your point? Anyway, so we have here a 1 megawatt beam laser, so we can fight. My heart does belong. I am by nature an Imperial, I think. Yeah, certainly in the universe of Elite. The intro sequence does spoil. Yeah, so you see in the intro sequence, you see the Imperial Courier doing its thing. And it's clearly a big ship, and it's got guns, and there's all sorts of stuff. And there is the Imperial Trader as well, so we will cover that one. That's an even bigger ship. And there are lots of other big ships about. So we should probably start by fixing the ship, I think. After our... I'm just trying to remember what we were doing. I'd run into the system. I can't remember. Was I delivering some sort of military stuff? I think I was. My ship got quite badly busted up, so let's fix the ship for a start. Quite a lot of damage there. Okay, so we don't have any shield generators on board at the moment. Cargo bay life support we do have. Scanner, ECM, fuel scoop, and automatic pilot. We haven't tried fuel scooping, have we? I think we must try and do that today. Panther Clipper with top-notch lasers and half a hull for the shield generators. That's what I ended up with. Yes, I think the good thing about that was it was virtually invincible, wasn't it, Commander Nurai? Nothing could destroy a ship with that many shield generators. Now, we were doing that slave run. Now, I think the plan was to get back to however you pronounce this, Facey, Facey, maybe? I don't know how you pronounce that. I think... Exial, we did the Exial thing. That was over here. We were doing slave trading runs to Exial, and we built a little bit of money. And what we were going to try and do is we had run a trip from a few military missions, or Imperial military missions, from Facey to Soho. Now, if I'm right in thinking, yeah, I'd got my Imperial title of Serf, so I want to see if I can improve it, because we've been doing a lot of trade runs, and that gets a bit boring after a while. I'm below average, which probably doesn't come as much of a surprise. Don't have a federal rank. We're not dealing with those miserable feds. Okay, that's the elite stuff. Where I am role playing the feds at the moment. Imperial title is Serf. You know, I've achieved a rank in stuff. So, JR 1988 said what we're all thinking. Slaves from Faces to Vecus is what I was doing. Animals to Vecus and slaves to Vecus. Yeah, so role playing with the feds. Oh yeah, well you got to keep up. You got to keep up, Phil. Yeah. So anyway, but on this stream, I'm firmly an Imperial. So are there any missions here? Let's have a look. Because we kind of want to go. The good thing about the Facey system, however you pronounce that, we should decide actually. Well, that's not a bad payment there. Look, 7,800 credits for a ship to take a small package to the Acanal system. And I think what we'd done is we'd put a class 3 hyperdrive of max 18 light years on our ship in order so that we could get to different places. So Acanal's not that far away, and it is in range if I have enough fuel on board. That's not a bad deal. But when, the trick with these is how long do you get to do it? I'm Margaret Honda and I need a ship to take a small package to the Achenar system, and I'll pay 7,800 credits. So that's okay. That's quite a lot, actually. But it doesn't tell me when I need to get it there. So is that seems like quite a good deal. What do we think? Is that a good deal? It's not telling me how much time I need to get it there. Is there a way of finding out how long it's... Yeah, it does sound good, doesn't it? I have another room. Yeah, okay then. I think that's all right. You have a month for these ones. Okay, let's do that. Well, that's good. Let's go to Achenar then. Right. These retirement ones I do want to do. It's a trap. Check if she'll pay you half. Oh yeah, I suppose I could have done that. Right. So passing on a ship. I want to do a few runs first and build up my rep. Okay, I think my rep was quite badly tarnished at the beginning of the game when I lied about my wife being in Tau Ceti or something. I can't remember what it was now. Imperial Navy, right? Play your part in the glory of the Empire. Contact us if you dare. That sounds my sort of thing. So deliver blank military data cards to the FACES system. Now the problem if we do that, if I've got a month, actually I can tell, can't I? Let's have a look at the... It says, there's my mission. It doesn't even have a date. So I can take that military mission as well and do this en route. So that's not a bad thing. Let's try that then. So let's do the Imperial Navy. Deliver blank military data cards by midnight on the 12th, which is easily within the range of our jump drive. So that's good. So if we're going, let's take that one too. Agreed, sir, I'll do it. There we go. Right. Is there anything else going to the FACES system in here? Ship. Right. Payment of 300 for passage. Well, that's too slow. Wanted to take a small package to the video. We'll pay 75 credits. Wow. Well, I'm going that way anyway, so. Okay. A small group. They don't pay very much, those passenger missions, do they? Is there anything? Payment of, that's passage again. A small package. Oh, look, actually, no, there's quite a few going there. Yeah, okay. That's good. Yeah, so this is the way to do it, isn't it? Right, that seems to be everything. So let's make sure we've got enough fuel on board. Because I've sort of outfitted my ship as a courier in the literal sense. As in couriering things. I should have asked first why so little money. Yeah, don't get that option, do you? Right, so let's add, no, not the bulletin board. Let's add some fuel. Where's the fuel? Hydrogen. I don't know, because we're going to refuel at FACES anyway, aren't we? So we don't need to take all that fuel. The fuel tank, the internal fuel tank's full. We're going there first. We only need 7 tons, so let's lighten the ship a little bit and then take 7 tons because we can refuel. Stock market. There we go. I think that's probably what I decided. Yeah, I already decided to do that. Okay, good. Right, so I'll save the game because we know what this game is like. And let's do our first set of missions. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do our first set of missions. We're doing some couriering for the Imperial Navy and a few other dodgy dudes we've met in the space station. And off we go. Right. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we're on the ground. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I just grabbed the joystick instinctively. That's not how you play this game. At least I haven't got the joystick. I fill the racing base with another shield generator. Well, yeah, I could have done that actually. Oh well, we'll see how we do. All right, let's just have an external look at our amazing Cobra. There it is. Look at that. Let's put the undercarriage up because neatness. There we go. And oh look, there's the fuel scoop. Look, that's quite cool. I didn't realise the fuel scoop was something that was graphically enhanced. I know it's only like 6 triangles, but hey, look, the ship has a fuel scoop. That's quite cool. Somebody managed to find out what that warning message was on the back of the ship the other week, and these, you can see the scanners also are, well, scanning. Yeah, it is a bit weird not seeing the cockpit on the front. Now, interesting enough, in the lore of Elite, in the original games, there was never a piece of glass there, or whatever the cockpit's made of. Okay, it was never a transparent cockpit like it is in Elite Dangerous, and I completely get why it looks like that in Elite Dangerous, because it looks much better. But in the original games, it was literally a view screen, a bit more like Star Trek, where it's not actually a transparent panel at the front of the screen. It's like a 3D image of space in front of the ship. So when you're looking at this view, this is a computer generated view of the which is done by your monitor. And actually, in any kind of real scenario, Kelvinator points out, a cockpit on a spaceship is absolutely completely and utterly mad, because there's no way you could make it out of any material that would be strong enough to resist the things that spaceships in the Dangerous universe do. It would be absolutely mad. Even today on aircraft, the only reason that they have windows, obviously so people could look out even on commercial airlines, but it would be much easier to design an airplane if you didn't just need to design windows, because they weaken the hull. It's as simple as that. But the trouble is, you do need to be able to see out. Unless your ship is entirely automatic. The space shuttle is an interesting one, because there still is no substitute to a certain degree of being able to see out, but those sort of ships aren't really designed for combat. So it's interesting, and TV cameras are. Oh, hello. What's that message mean? Did you see that? You're going to regret dealing with. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm under attack because I've taken a mission. What was the name? Margaret something. So Margaret Honda. This package. This package that I've been asked to take. And I've just put the game on pause so we can check this out. This package we've been asked to take, it's expensive because there's somebody who doesn't like her. I picked a contract package. Right, so who's on to me? Right, so let's first things first. Let's switch the engines off, because this pirate has got it in for me. So I need to instantly do. So whoever this guy is not happy that I took this job. So, but he's also going to not be happy that I'm firing at him. You can see here the enemy AI is struggling to draw a bead on me. Boom! He's got a bounty on hand. How can I? Yeah, he started it, exactly. I suppose I could have checked. I might do that, because the price was high, wasn't it? So I wonder if that's going to be a repeating thing with trying, which he just materialised in the system. So what was interesting about that is, I guess that the way the game is presenting itself to there is the chap followed us through hyperspace and kind of ambushed us the moment we came out of space, which was quite cool. I quite enjoyed that. That was good. Is that going to be the only time we get ambushed? We'll find out. Right. Anyway, we just got to go somewhere in the Facey system, I'm guessing. Let's find. I don't even know where's the space station. Okay, there's loads of space stations. New America, terraformed world. So let's go there. Matthew's Hole. That doesn't sound like a very nice place, does it? Peter's Wreck. Peter's Wreck and Matthew's Hole. Dear oh dear. I'm sure we've made that joke before. I'm so childish, I really am. Dear. Hey, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. That's what I say. I need a radar mapper to claim the bounties. Okay, so I need to figure that one out. Right, the autopilot's engaged. Let's see how this goes. Times are ticking. We've got to get there by the 12th, haven't we? Which we should be fine. Looking at that, yep. Okay, so it's just the one pirate. Okay, so that's quite good. Like that's a nice little bit of gameplay though. That you take a package and obviously it's against somebody else's interests to do so. I like that. That was really good. How do the bounties work? So I don't know actually how the bounties work. Let's find out. Anyway, that worked okay. So we are here. So presumably the landing fee gets deducted. Then it automatically completes the missions for us. Not like Elite Dangerous where you have to hand the missions in. It automatically completes them, and we should get a notification. There we are. Oh, congratulations! Delivery to be completed. I missed what did that say? Oh, I'm getting some music too. I've now collected the parcel. Payment has been made in full from Ben Cook. Excellent. Promoted to master. Ooh, cool. Donald Popov. Excellent. So, right, parcel to Achenar is the only one that we haven't yet done, so we might still get attacked because we haven't got to Achenar yet. But that's good. Right. Okay. So look, I am now. Oh, we did get picked slightly there with a laser. I'm an imperial. I am a master. I'm Master Drew. I am the great master of all I survey. Master Drew. You should all call me Master Drew now. Yes. Bow before me. Even though I am still below average. That's awesome. Master Drew. I like that. I quite like Master Drew. Actually, the Masters are very, very low rank, isn't it? But hey, sounds good. You may call me the Wise Master. Right, I'll save the game there since we've achieved that. And we still need to go to Achenar, but there might be some missions here that are worth us picking up. Let's just check it out. So, honest John Lloyd's, highest price paid. Is anybody going to Achenar? Wanted job. Payment, small group. Payment, passage to the... that's not paying enough. Gary Sinclair, Pet Cemetery. We need your cash now. Perez Holdings. Wanted a small ship to the unpronounceable system. Another unpronounceable system. Job needed. Passage for a group. Slaves. Oh, if only we had some slaves. Passage for a small ship to the Zahoa system. Where's the Imperial stuff? Where's the military missions? There aren't any. That's a bit boring. I told you to take slaves. Yeah, I'll get some more slaves. Is this FE2 or FFE? It's definitely FE2, FE Elite. He's definitely shifting. He's a bit, isn't he? Trying to be inscrutable over there. Right, so well, in that case, we've still got to move ourselves along to Achenar, haven't we? So let's go to Achenar. I thought there were military missions in Facey. We got 3 tons of fuel there, plenty of fuel on board. 1, 2, 3. I am inclined to have some shield generators on board. I think that's not a bad idea, just to help with the ship not getting completely zapped. But they take up a lot of space, shield generators. Let's have a couple on board since we're there, and let's repair the damage to the ship. Not that one. That one. There we go. It's not a fast way to make money, this, but do all the PCs have those stylish? I know that the hat is quite common, but not everybody has a hat. She does. He does. He does as well. And she's got a police hat on, so yeah, most of the people here seem to have hats. So obviously, hats went through a renaissance in the 33rd century. In the year 3201, it seems to be a hat thing is definitely going on. Right, so Achenar is 3 insufficient fuel. Why have I got insufficient fuel? I thought I just bought some fuel. Oh, I bought minerals. I must have clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Right, so we've got enough fuel to get to Achenar. There's enough fuel in the internal tank. Right, onwards we go. Dun 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 dun. Funny hats are the That's right. I bought my hat from the 34th century and brought it back in time for you. That's right. That's how it was done. Right, onwards we go. Put the undercarriage up, just to be neat. We must try some fuel scooping at some point. Right, so far we haven't been attacked, which is nice. Achenar 6 is where we need to go. A big system, Achenar actually. There's the space station. Autopilot. Right, let's deliver this package on behalf of this lady who's caused us a little bit of grief. It's a long way out, 47 AUs. This does burn quite a lot of fuel in the internal fuel tank, as you can see here. Look, so this is the internal fuel tank, which will drop down as we fly. Services stop misjumps. If you don't service equipment, it starts braking. Gorfic Star Shadow, morning Drew, it's 5:30 in the morning. That's very keen. Welcome to you. I hope you have some coffee on standby. Wowzers. Yes, I keep this circular, this spherical planet thing is really something we should do something about, isn't it? Very, very inconvenient. We should definitely all be in the same time zone. Right, so this is going okay. We've been promoted to master. That hopefully means our reputation is improving in the game. It will start giving us. Yeah, Niven had solution. Yes, we could always have a ring world, those sort of things. Pros, we all use the elite time zone. Well, that suits me, innocent guy, because I think it's UTC, isn't it? Which is the same as GMT, which is exactly the same as my normal domestic time. For me, here in the UK. That's quite good. Right, so it should now tell us that the package has been delivered. There we go. Message from Margaret Honda. I've now collected the parcel. Payment has been made in full. Has it? Where's my money? Oh, there it is. 125,000 credits. So yes, then that's worked quite well. Okay, so that's good. We've done all right. We've done all right. Right, so let's get to the bulletin board. Payment, lots of cargo. None of these. That one's quite good. 12,000 could be worth checking out, and it's a small group as well. Someone for a removal job. We must try one of those, but I don't know if our reputation is high enough yet. Somebody who's not wanted in the so-and-so's, but only £5,000 for an assassination. That's not very much, is it? Lucy Kawasaki from the Cepheol system. Small passage. Nothing very interesting here. Let's see. This one though is worth. This one's not bad. Where's it gone? That 12,960 credits for a passage for a small group to the Mefifa system. Where's that? Okay. I'm Terry Campbell. I need passage for a small group to the Mifia system at 0-5. Right, so where's 0-5? 0-5 is there. There's Mifia, which is, I can do that in a single jump, so that's okay. Alright, let's go back and have a chat with them then. How many of them are there? There are 3 of us. Okay. Shall I ask the will there be any problems question? Yes, I suspect they have some friends looking for them too. I think you're probably right. Will there be any problems? I'm federal military. I've already the federal military have already fired on me, but I got away. Okay, so these guys are in the Empire, so I feel an allegiance with them already. Right. Well, let's give this one. This sounds like fun. Let's go equip the ship with 3 thingies. They'll probably turn around and say, "No, I don't like you." That's what happened last time. But let's see. Right. We don't need cargo bay life support at the moment, so I'm going to remove that. Extra passenger cabin. 1, 2. I need to take 2 on here. I need 3. What can I do? Else can I dump? Oh, shield generators, of course. and it's also got this massively big hyperspace drive. So I don't need the fuel scoop at the moment. I'm going to take that off. I will do some fuel scooping. How much is the fuel scoop going to save me though? I need 3 more tons. Where's the fuel scoop? The fuel scoop is 6 tons worth, so let's get rid of that and buy an extra passenger cabin. There we go. Okay, that gives us 3. Do we have enough fuel on board at the moment? No, I need to buy some fuel. I need at least 4 tons of fuel to get to Mipifia. I've only got 3 cargo space. Oh, this is quite hard, isn't it? Even with a half decent ship, I need to dump something else in order. What else have I got? Okay, so scanner, ECM, automatic pilot. I'm going to have to dump one of the shield generators. It's quite hard. It is quite hard. What's in the shipyard? I suppose we can have a quick look in there. So, Imperial couriers. 1 Imperial trade. Because we're in the Empire, there isn't much ship choice. This is something we noticed the other week. So I am going to have to dump one of the shield generators in order to make enough space to buy the fuel we need to actually get to where we're going. Okay, now it's at this point that those people will turn around and go, no, we don't fancy going with you anyway. We're now in range. Okay, I'm going to buy an extra ton of hydrogen to refuel the onboard fuel tank as well. So let's do that. Otherwise, Stephen Usher will pop up and go, you must refuel. And he's quite right, I need to refuel. So we have enough fuel to get there. We now have enough space for them to be in. So will they jump on board? Okay, agreed. Excellent. Hey, boom. With a bit of a graphics overhaul, this would be a great as a mobile. Yeah, it would be quite good as a mobile game actually. Right, so we now have 3 passengers aboard. I've got, yeah, okay. So now we've got to get to the Mifia system, and they will give us 12,000 credits. That's not a bad deal. But we suspect they're a bit dodge, don't we? So let's save the game, because the last package we took, somebody attacked us. I mean, that's outrageous. What kind of galaxy is this? Where people can just turn up and fire their guns at you. Oh, there's an interesting little site. I think we have seen this before, but there's one of the like super duper mega ships that you saw in the intro sequence. Let's go quite slow so I don't really want to crash into it. And this is one of those things that does give the game quite a nice scale. No, there wasn't anything else going to Miffy FIFA, whatever it's called. So there we go. Look, we're flying alongside one of these like super mega ships, and then we can get an external view. There we go. That's quite nice. We can sort of see. You sort of get an idea of the scale. Now the Cobra is not a big, it's not a huge ship, but it's not tiny either. But look, there you go. Look at the zoom out there. I always love doing this in this game. It's one of the first games I remember being able to do this sort of thing where you can sort of pan and tilt your camera angle around and have a look at things, even though the graphics are obviously a little bit laughable by modern standards, but it does give you a proper sense of scale. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I think that's quite nice. Right, so let's go to the and expect to get ambushed straight away. Right, so we're in the Mifia system. We have some music playing. Right, so where do these guys want to go? In fact, where can we go? Right, there's a single space station in orbit around the first planet. So let's go there. Oops, too much zoom. There. There we go. Right, are we going to get ambushed? Gesundheit, yes, thank you for that. I will take any and all blessings. Right, well, let's see. Is the Federation going to give us any grief? Or is it all going to be safe and secure? Looks okay so far. Maybe the feds are asleep. But you can't select the destination of the autopilot system. Yeah, so that would be quite good. It's not bad though. I mean, you can see a lot of those dynamics are very similar still, aren't they? I don't think we're going to get ambushed, which is that was an easy 12,000 credits we made there. Boom. Do they automatically disembark? Let's find out. Does it? No, there we go. Message from Terry Kemp. Well, thanks for bringing us here. We've now paid in full. Good luck. Good luck. They have. They've paid in full. Well, that was easy. Okay, well, you win some, you lose some, I guess. And that time we definitely won some. So, playing the bulletin board. Right, okay, so can we do any of these yet? Rosalind Harrison, I think because we're below average. That was very easy, wasn't it? It was a bit disappointingly easy, actually. I'm still below average on my elite ranking. We haven't killed many people. So look, we earned more than the assassination mission. Rosalind Harrison is no longer wanted in the Fagri system. Imperial Navy, though, there we go. The Imperial Navy's back. So, wanted fruit and veg. Not many missions available. So let's have a look at what the Imperial Navy's got for us. Deliver requisitions forms. That's exciting. Not very much in terms of money here. That'll cost us to do that. That's the problem with these missions. 9th of December. Oh, it's almost Christmas again. Deliver paperwork on the 7th. So we've got plenty of time to do that. But they're not all going to the same place and they're not paying much at all. That's quite boring. Elite DHL missions, yeah. I mean, deliver paperwork. I mean, even in 1993. And requisition forms, okay. I mean, surely it's not actually paperwork in the year 30. I mean, it's set in the year 3201. Surely they don't have paperwork, really. I don't think it's worth doing those ones. That's a bit dull. Lost the fax machine. Yeah, maybe they did. I don't know. That's not very exciting at all. Let's hope I'm a bit. Let's see. This assassination mission, will it allow us to do it yet? No. Okay. Higher elite Federation combat rate. Look. I'm a shady person. Nothing really here that's worth us doing, which is a bit disappointing. Where are we anyway? We're in the. We are in which system are we in? We're in this Mifia system. So there's not much here. What do they sell? Major exports, slaves. So we could take slaves back to Akanar, I suppose. That means changing our loadout again, doesn't it? Going back to trade. But since we're here, we might as well. Akanar's pretty safe, so we don't need the shield generator. So this is something that I think is, it's slightly irritating, but it's actually also quite good gameplay. Is that if you follow a mission, it leaves you in a place where, in order to get anything useful again back out of there, you have to completely change your ship loadout to do it. So in this case, I need to go back to ferrying some cargo. I can't store any of the modules, so I do lose a bit of money on some of these things. So now I don't need those passenger cabins, and I make a loss on them, you see, which is kind of annoying. And I need fuel as well. How much fuel do I need to get back to Akanar? 4 tons. So I need to buy 4 tons of fuel before I do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest of it we're going to fill up with slaves. Oh, the cargo bay life support. Mustn't forget that. Mustn't forget the cargo bay life support. That's really important. If you don't have cargo bay life support, the slaves are carried in your cargo bay, and for some reason all the air leaks out of your cargo bay. So it's important to have cargo bay life support, which costs you a ton. There we go. Otherwise, when you get to your destination, or what I think probably after the hyperspace jump, or the moment you come out of the port, rather than X many tons of slaves, you have X many tons of fertilizer, which is very dark frontier-esque humour, which is quite funny. Right, so let's fill up. Always fill up with slaves. I think we should be good now. So that gives us 21 tons of slaves to go back to Achenar with. So let's do that. 138,000 quid. You must have stole them. Imperial slaves, yes. So I don't know if these are imperial slaves or just ordinary slaves. This game doesn't make a distinction between the two. Right, so let's go back. What we should do, we must do some fuel skipping. We must do some planetary landings as well. Right, so this should be a milk run, because Achenar's pretty safe normally. Capital, I would have thought. I don't know if there is much in-system price difference, but that's a bit weird. Why can't I click on? Oh, there we go. I want to centre on that. Oh, what was that? Oh, that was me. Oh, if you press the two mouse buttons to give it fires the guns. Interesting. Okay. Right, hang on. Oh, what my ship is doing. I can't get it to. Oh, there we go. Right. Sometimes the orrery sort of gets a bit stuck, and that was one of the moments where it got a bit stuck. There we go. Right, we're going there. Engines off, autopilot. This should be a milk run, he says, hopefully. Don't recommend doing a star. No, fuel skipping a gas giant, we should definitely try that. And landing up, I still haven't shown you the clock, have I? I need to show you the clock on the church towers. I know some of you will know all about that already, but the clock on the church towers is just one of those things you've got to do. I think we'll try. Maybe we can do that here. Actually, maybe we can buy some atmospheric shield and just go and show you that, because it's quite good. Do the Frontier folks not like Chris Sawyer? I can't remember. Chris Sawyer. Wasn't it Transport Tycoon that was about to come out when this game was? Is that right? I can't remember why Chris Sawyer ended up in the advertising for Frontier. He was in almost virtually every space station. I can't remember. Somebody will know. So yeah, so the advertising was a thing in there as well. Right, here we go. Right, so we should be able to hear. Let's just check the bulletin board in case anybody wants slaves. Friends of the Galaxy, ban the military drives campaign. Yes, that's an important cause. I'm wanted computers. Oh. Guessed wrong. Play your part in the glory of the Empire. Well, I'm trying to do that. Oh, see, slaves are so lucrative. Look at that. I've made like 30,000 credits. It's by far the fastest way to make money. Yeah, so this game, the resolution of these graphics, this is only 320 by 200, I believe. It's not very high res at all. Long before the era of graphics card acceleration and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so yes, that's right. There we are, camera mod arrow. This is 320 by 200 resolution. It's not very quite a lot of colours. I think we've probably got, possibly looking at the face there, we've probably got 256 colours. I would go. So yeah. Anyway, so slaves, just crazy way of making it. It's 256 colours. There we go. I thought it was. So right, okay. So we made a bit of cash there. We're now at Achenar. What can we do here? Imperial Navy. Let's see what the Imperial Navy's got. Deliver a message. See, these really are not very exciting, are they? 600 superconducting wire. Documents, some medals. They're not great. Are any of them going to the Facey system? Because that's sort of the Sahoa system. There's 2 going to Sahoa. There's the Exul system again. Deliver requisition forms to the Vaquis system. Superconducting wire. It's not very interesting, is it? Tell you what. Let's see if we can do the clock thing. While we're here. Now, Capitol is an Earth-like planet, and I believe there should be There are places to go. Let's go to the actual capital of the empire itself, Duval City. It's on the edge of the sea here, which looks jolly nice. Duval City there is the capital. Now I need to buy some atmospheric shielding for us to get down there, so I'm going to go and do that. Let's just give you a tour of the empire. Let's just refuel the ship a little bit. See if we can. I don't know if Duval City has a clock. We'll find out. But you need to see that. This is part of the experience of the game. So let's go for upgrades. We need atmospheric shielding to do this. Let's do this while we're here. There might be better missions down on the ground. Who knows? So let's go off to the surface of Achenar. So we're going to leave the space station. I've set its Camp Denver. Where's it gone? Fortress Cambridge, actually. I don't know if that exists. I don't know if any of these places, because this is obviously a planet with a thick atmosphere. I don't know if any of these places actually exist in Elite Dangerous yet. But Fortress Cambridge, there we go. I think David Braben was an Imperial sympathiser. I do believe this very strongly. Right, so Duval City is on the daylight side, which is good. Right, so that's where the hyperspace is set. So let's switch the autopilot on. No, it didn't work. Let's go, come on. There we go. Autopilot to Duval City. There we go. And it will fly us down to the surface. There we go. There's the planet. And there's our destination there. So we can watch ourselves leave the space station behind. Where's the space station? It must be behind us somewhere. There it is. There we go. So there's the space station we just left. And the target is 14,000 kilometres in front. So that will take us a little bit of time to get there in real space. So we'll speed it up a little bit. There we go. And you can sort of see, I'll slow it down again there, you can sort of see the atmosphere growing around us. Now we need to have atmospheric shielding in order to get us down there. I think at some point the autopilot will flip us around. The speed is now coming down. There we go. It's now thrusting us through the atmosphere. 3,000 to go. It's coming down, coming down. There's the sea, which is upside down. At some point it will flip us over, I think. I hope it does. Like, you can just about see the city coming into view now. So I'll cut it down to, there's a mountain. Here we are, we're now inside the atmosphere. Let's just roll that down a little bit more. There's the altitude meter is now on. When's it gonna flip the ship over? I'd much rather come in the right way up. There's even a river and a lake. Look, yeah. So you've got. I mean, I know it'll be better actually when we when it flips us around. It should do that at some point, surely. What is it doing? It's still flying us upside down. Not that it makes a great deal of difference, but this would be quite. It's sort of flying us directly in. What speed are we doing? It's slowing. It is slowing us down. And now it's pointing us directly. Okay. Well, there's the spaceport over there. That's where we've got to land. Okay. Now we're up the right way. Quite a long way above the clouds. It is flying us in. Now that's the city down there. The city of Duval City, was it? So this is the absolute core of the empire. Now it's bringing us over one of these landing pads. I don't know which landing pad we're going for, but there we are. Base 6 is where we're heading for. So it's taking us down there. Okay, that's good. Right, so we're going to fly through some clouds. There's the mountain in the background, some clouds. It's a nice sunny day here in Duval City. Now, I don't know if there are any clocks down there or not. I'll have to go and see if we can find one. I hope there are. There's a sort of metropolitan area over there. We might find one over there. We'll see. Yeah, let it land. Let it land first. There we go. Let's just get ourselves down. Right. So we're now on the ground. And I don't know if you can read that. It does actually say Duval City. It's quite hard to read. There you are, Duval City. So every hangar has its own. It gets its name on the side. it's that's quite impressive. And there is some advertising there as well. That if we zoom out, the graphics go a little bit weird. Where's that advertising banner gone? Oh, there's one over there. Maybe it's a bit further. Zoom out a bit further. It's quite hard to tell actually. Oh, there it is. There we go. So if I zoom in, there we are. Coming soon, Chris Cyrus transport game, and the Sirius Corporation has an advertising banner. So again, it's quite nice that the game has space for things like that. You can kind of get a sense of this. I mean, look at the size of this landing pad; it's just enormous. But anyway, so there we go. We're on the surface of the planet in the Empire. And you've got there's actually something in space. Now, what's quite nice here? Look, I can click on things on the screen, which is quite nice. Is this no tripods? Is this working? The Martians have landed on my stream. No, it's not that bad. Oh, hang on, the Martians have landed on my stream. What's happened? Looks like I've had a raid. Hang on a minute. Let me go and have a look at the chat. I was concentrating so much. Who did that? Colourful Martian is raiding with a party of twins. Thank you very much, Colourful Martian. I do appreciate that. We are, for those of you just joined the stream, we are playing a very old computer game from 1993 called Frontier Elite 2. So if you're wondering why on earth the graphic looks so atrocious, that's why. But it looks like the Martians have invaded, so there are no tripods. No, alas, we're not on Mars either. And yes, but that's where the Martians have landed. That's awesome. Thank you very much to all the Martians. I have no problem with Martians whatsoever. I think Martians are excellent. So, the chances of the Martians raiding my stream are obviously 1,000,000 to 1. But obviously that one chance came up. No one would have believed. Right. So let's just have a look again here. What's going on? So we can donate to the Honda Anti-War Fund. Okay. Imperial Navy, play your part in the future of the universe, etc. That one's not bad. 2 people on a fast ship. Nerve gas. Computers. That will mean that there isn't anything in the stock market for that. So computers are obviously in quite some demand, which is interesting. Right, but anyway, let me not get distracted, because the purpose of landing here really was just to see if we could find a clock. So I'm going to take you. We're gonna see if we can find a clock. All right. So if we take, there we go. So let's fly slowly over. I need to add a little bit of thrust in, otherwise the ship doesn't fly. Let's fly slowly away from the base and see. If anybody sees a clock tower, do let me know. There's Duval City. Now there's some. Is that? Now there are houses down there, and like a sort of warehousey bit. Is that a clock tower there? I'm wondering if that is. Let's slow down a little bit. I think that might be one over there. The only problem I've got is then the ship starts to sink. There. I don't want to do that. How do I bank? Okay. I think that is a clock tower. So Now my ship's going down. I don't want to do that. Let's go back up again. Right, let's put the undercarriages down. Okay. I've got to reset my speed to sort of 0. Is this going to work, or is it going to crash? Yeah, I'm right on top of it. No. It exploded on contact. Oops. Ah dear, that didn't work. I've forgotten how to land. Right, I'm back up here again now. Right, we know there is one down. I've got to show you this. This is an important part of this game. It's of no commercial value whatsoever. It purely impacted some people, but there is a place to go now. How do I? Right. I'm forgetting how to land. I thought you just reduced the thrust to 0 and let the ship settle, but obviously isn't the way to do it. So, shipyard. Right, let's add in the atmospheric shielding again. So I've got to get this right. Oh, we're not even in the right system. Did I not save it there? Oh, that's annoying. Right, let's just do that again then. Okay, so actually it was. No, I don't want the atmospheric shielding here. That would be totally pointless. Right, I thought I saved it there. What am I doing? I'm not carrying anything. So here it was by. Wasn't it by slaves? Yeah. Oh, I didn't save it. That's annoying. Remind me to save it when we get to Achenar. Did I raise the undercarriage? Oops. And I've got to save the clock tower. No, it's right. we need to do the clock. The clock tower is very important. Right. Right. Let's get rid of the cargo. We need to take those. For some reason, I didn't save it at Achenar, which was very silly of me. Right, so I needed 4 tons of fuel to get there. Let's get that, and the rest of it was slaves. So I've got to do that run again. That's annoying. And slaves. Good. Right. I'll save it there. Since it doesn't really cost us anything to save the game. Dun, 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 dun. I've got that tune in my head now from the Martians. Dun, 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 dun. I still think, actually, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds is the only definitive version of the War of the Worlds. It's the only one I ever come back to. And I think most of the charm of that one, partly because it's a musical, which may sound odd to those of you who know the story and don't live in the UK, because I don't think it's nearly as well known outside the UK as it is in the UK. But Jeff Wayne's version of Lord of the Worlds is not only a musical, but it's also the only even vaguely productionized version that stays true to the original story in its original setting, which of course is Victorian England. There have been many films made of Lord of the Rings, many films made of War of the Worlds, but none of them yet. No, there's been no feature film version or even TV series version that has stayed with the original setting, which is Victorian England. Even the BBC, when they did one last year, did it in Edwardian England for some strange reason. They moved it up like 50 years. It's like, well, why? And unfortunately, it wasn't very good. The American versions are quite fun. I quite like the American version, the original American version back in, I think, the 60s. Of course, they set it in America, of course. Surprise, surprise. But it sort of stayed true to the ethos of the film. It just changed the location and changed some of the technology. And I think they replaced, the Martian tripods. They hovered rather than sort of stomped around. But the heat ray was quite convincingly done. And rather than attacking them with a ship, as they do in the novel, they attacked them with a nuclear bomb, which also didn't work. But again, the ending was correct in the sense it was the Earth bacteria that killed them, which most of them do tend to stick with, which at least is good because that's kind of the point. But nobody's made a version of War of the Worlds which actually stays true to the original book in Victorian England, where the baddies landed in Woking. As I've discussed on my science fiction stream, on my science fiction stream, that Woking is the alien epicenter of the entire planet. Okay, if you're going to launch an alien invasion, you forget San Francisco, forget Los Angeles. It's Woking, all right, in Surrey, in the UK. That's where you need to go if you're a serious alien, right? And you want to be taken seriously. You have to invade. You have to start in Woking. It's very important. Oh no! Oh! I've just killed all the slaves. Forgot the cargo bay life support. Oops. This is the dark humour of the game. I don't have 18 tons of slaves anymore. I've got 18 tons of fertilizer. Ah, dear. No, I need to do that again. Sorry, guys. Because I need the money. I'm glad you've seen that happen, though. Funny. Right. Dark. Very dark humour. Very dark. It's a bit of a shock the first time you do it. Biowaste, that's exactly what I got. Biowaste. Right, so shipyard. I forgot the cargo bay life support. Cruel game. Right, there we go. So anyway, War of the Worlds. Jeff Wayne did a musical version, I think back in the 70s. It's actually quite old. And it's a sort of, it's almost a punk rock stroke classical version of War of the World. It's quite hard to describe, actually. But it is geniusly good. Okay, so most of the, if you kind of think of the War of the World's music, you'll always that. No one would have believed in the last years of 19th century, all that sort of stuff, with the bam bam bam, all that. That is Jeff Wayne, and most people probably will have come across that signature tune at least. But the entire book effectively has been put to music, and it's very, very good. I would agree, it's a masterpiece. My favourite part of it is definitely Thunderchild. The attack of the Thunderchild on the Martian invaders. It's the only time we get a slight comeuppance on the Martians, other than obviously the end. So the ending of part one, the first part of Jeff Wayne's thing, where it's the Thunderchild, which is a torpedo ram, I think it is. It's like it's a ship in the it's obviously a fictional ship. In Her Majesty's Navy, yes, it would have been Her Majesty's Navy at the time, but Queen Victoria, and it basically the captain and crew of the ship must know they're going to die, so it's quite heroic in that sense, because basically the Thunderchild is the only vessel in range of a steamer that's basically trying to evacuate people from England to go to, I think, Ostend in Belgium, if I remember the story correctly. And it's basically the steamer is completely defenseless, and these three Martian fighting machines basically come stomping across the UK into the sea to basically vaporize the steamer, which is full of passengers. And there are 6 artillery guns on it. Okay, I haven't read the book for a long time, actually. So good, good on the artillery guns as well, yeah. But in this bit, basically, the Thunderchild is a torpedo ram. I think at the time it's supposed to be a relatively old ship. It's not state of the art, but it's the only fighting ship in range, and basically it basically goes and attacks the Martians. So I don't think I need to issue spoilers for a book that is over 100 years old. But anyway, the Thunderchild, HMS Thunderchild, goes in valiantly. Fires her guns at the first Martians and actually takes one out. and this is like the first. No, it's not the first time, as Rob's 2610 has told me, but because the artillery can do take some down. So they know the Martians aren't indestructible. But anyway, the Thunderchild takes one out with their artillery guns, and the Martians are kind of like, whoa, someone's fighting back, and they're a bit kind of bizarre, by this behaviour. They eventually turn their heat rays on the Thunderchild and zap it, and it kind of explodes. But the wreckage of the ship basically ploughs on. They keep the engines at full throttle or whatever they're doing, and they smash into the second Martian and take that out as well. So very, very heroic. Okay, and in between the first and second Martian, being killed, the people on the shore are kind of going, yes! You could just imagine this big crowd of sort of English people standing on the shore cheering on the Thunderchild as it tries to take on the Martians. So it's like, yeah, come on, Thunderchild! And unfortunately it gets blown to pieces. Now there were 3 Martians in the scene at that point in time. The first one's blown up by Thunderchild's weapons. The second one is rammed by the Thunderchild. The third one disappears. We don't really know. It's not actually explained in the story what happened to it, but whatever it did, it also went. So maybe the Thunderchild got that one as well as it was sinking. Who knows? But anyway, Thunderchild, the greatest warship in British history that we never had. But yeah, that's my favourite. That's my favourite part of that. So there we go. Now we have 17 tons of slaves. That's far better. There we go. Right. So let me buy the atmospheric shielding. Shipyard upgrades atmospheric shielding, and I'll save the game. That's a good thing to do. That is definitely the right thing to do. Right, there we go. Let's set course for Capital. We know there's a clock tower down there, so this is important. I know this sounds very silly, but this is absolutely fundamental part of this game, which is very important for everybody to see. It is entirely pointless, I will point out, but there we go. Yeah, we made a bit of money. There we go. Here's the song. So Commander Nurai there's the song. The Thunderchild. I don't know which one is that. The Thunderchild or the other one? But definitely worth seeing. If you haven't watched Jeff Wayne's live concert, it's definitely something to get yourself along to. It is absolutely fabulous. I've been to it twice, and I'm going to it again for my birthday this year. My wife has bought me a virtual reality version of it, so I actually get to, in VR, experience the invasions of the Martians, which I'm really looking forward to. So I think that's going to be quite good. So I'll obviously report back as to what that's like. Right, so here is, let's land, just because we might as well save the game on the ground. Right, so I've done that a bit quicker this time. Right, let's take off again and see if we can find the clock tower. Okay, so I'm going to spin round. It's over in that direction. There it is there, okay, directly in front of us. So I need to... Oh, I'm looking backwards. That won't help. There we go. I can manoeuvre quite slowly, but the ship isn't actually all that good at station keeping at low speed, as you can see. I suppose because it's a spaceship and not an atmospheric ship, it's actually a little bit unsteady. Now, there it is there. So I want to keep the speed down, and I've got to be flat when I land. So the undercarriage is down at the moment, isn't it? Yes, so that's good. Altitude is slowly dropping. There's the church tower. So I'm going to put my throttle to 0. Don't do that. And ease out the ship. I'm not quite close enough yet. Let's go forward a little bit. There we go. Where's the church tower? There it is. Got a bit too close to it last time. Okay, I'm tense now. There it is there, right. Okay, so set the speed to 0. I'm going to flatten the ship out. It should land. Come on. Yes, it landed. Yay, I did it. Right, okay, now this is a bit okay. So if I pan the external camera now, I've parked in the middle of nowhere. This is landed. Knows that actually that even the HUD says, look, landed rough, which is quite funny. Now, hopefully I'm close enough to be able to see this. So there's a house over there, and if I back the camera away, okay, and the frame rate is now quite atrocious because there's so much for the system to render. If I back the camera away, we should be able to. There it is. There's the church. Okay, quite why there's a church there is an interesting choice. But we should be able to see, there it is, there's the clock, okay? So on all four sides, okay, on all four sides, there's my ship, and it's even got little grave markers. Why? Anyway, there, look, there's the clock, okay? Now check this out. Okay, so I'm moving it so we can see, as I zoom in, the time on the clock is correct, all right? The time on the clock is 1:47. It is 1:47. All right. Quite why there's an analog clock. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, David Braben, or at least maybe somebody who worked for him, I think he must have coded this. But there's he spent a lot of time coding an analog clock in the game, and it's got it's on four sides of this clock tower. Okay. Now, the cool thing here is, watch what happens when I do the time acceleration. All right, watch the clock. The clock works. It's actually accurate. And I can speed up time using the time dreamer. And the clock tells. The clock goes, right? And look, the sky is moving. The planets in the background are moving as well. And if I speed up time a lot, so does the clock. I mean, and then the sun will set. Look, there you go. The sun's setting at 5 o'clock in the evening, local time. There you go. And the stars are moving. It's a realistic simulation of space in 1993. Okay, that's how old this game is. It's now nighttime. Okay, things are moving in space. The planet is rotating. We're on the planet, and it's rotating. Okay, and if we land at a different latitude on the planet, because we're relatively close to the equator, if we land at a different latitude, the stars will spin in different directions. It's very, very clever. It's insane for 1993. Like, the sun's about to come up again now, and then the stars will disappear. Notice even the shading of the atmosphere is changing. Do you hear any chimes? I don't know. I didn't hear any chimes. And if I put the Star Dreamer on full speed, it just goes insane. It's better at 4 actually. You can see time passing, and so the entire thing is similar. This is a little bit of the genius of of this sort of thing. And again, if I just pause again, I don't know quite where the sun is. And this is something that you could just spend a lot of time. I don't know where the star is. Whether we can see it, I can't see it at the moment. Let's let the sun come up. There we go. The sun has risen. So if I pause, or is about to set, somewhere there should be. Oh, there's the star. So okay, so there's the Achenar star. Okay, there we go. And I've got it near the clock. So with a bit of luck, there we go. It's just rising. So the sun is rising. Okay. There it goes, and it will do an arc in the sky. And as it goes up, it gets brighter, and then I can't look up, unfortunately. But in a few hours, it will set again, probably in that sort of direction. I'm wasting an awful lot of time parking my spaceship on the ground just to show you this. But this is one of those things. Okay, that's very important. So where's the sun setting? Not sure. Let's watch the sunset. Okay, so the sky is darkening. There we go. Where is the sun? Or the star, because it's not obviously the sun. Can't see it at the moment. Could be behind the mountain, I suppose, but not sure. Let's fast forward a little bit longer. There we go. Right, okay, so there's the sun. Okay, right. So there was a chime. I didn't hear the chime. Okay, brilliant. So there's the star, which is 50 AUs away. That's the actual Achenar star, and we can sit on the surface, and this is real time now, and we can watch the sunset. There we go. Just sitting there on your pad, watching the sun go round. You're wasting a life. I know, but it's quite fun. But that's sort of weird, to be honest. Attention to detail that this game has. It has a working clock. There we go. The sun is setting. The stars come out, and as the sun goes away, the colour of the sunset will change. And the colour of the sunset is determined by the colour of the star. If we land on a planet with a red star, there you go. The sun's there goes the sun. Goes the shadows. Shadows come across the ground as the sun disappears. I mean, it's all a bit 16-bit and the graphics are a bit thick, but it's still clever. Look, we can tell there the sun is now below the horizon. It's dark, okay, and it's good observation. No Man's Sky, whilst it does make things look pretty and cool, doesn't have this level of realism. The planets aren't actually spinning and rotating. It's just an atmospheric effect that happens. This was doing this sort of realism back in 1993. It is very, very clever. It's very, very clever. And you can see why the game was so compelling, because you can, there we are in the night time of the local area, and with a working church clock and stuff. So so there we go. I'm glad I've seen those. Yeah. So it's weird. Actually, there's massive attention to detail in some things, and I think this gives us a little bit of insight into David Braben's character. And having met this kind of guy, met David Braben about 3 times, I can he's very intense. All right, he's very intelligent, but he's very intense. And he likes to focus in on particular bits of detail. And I think things like this are exactly his style, okay? So certain things are absolutely nailed in terms of their realism. And other things is just like, whatever, I don't mind. So certain things really... Can we listen to a church chime? I'll see if I can get that before we go. Let's try that. Where is the clock? Where's the... Oh, there's the clock. There's the church there. Let me put the volume up a little bit. So it's an interesting mix. Now, what's interesting about this? If you look at the scale, look, there's a house and there's a church. Look at the size of the hangar behind it, and look at the size of the Cobra. I mean, the Cobra is probably half a mile away from the church. If I zoom out from here, there we go. Look, we're sort of above the Cobra. There we go. You can see the size of these objects. The church is way smaller than the Cobra, and that hangar is a long way behind us. It's absolutely massive. Quite why there are lots of churches about, I'm not sure. It's just one of those things. Let's see if we can hear a chime. I didn't know there were chimes. I'm just going to turn the volume up for myself. I've not heard this before. There's the church tower. Let's put it about there. Right. Okay. So we're very close to. I can't really. That's quite difficult. There we go. Right. So let's fast forward time. Can definitely hear the game. Right, so it should chime on the hour, shouldn't it? I'm assuming. Right, so the game is definitely making sound. So let me fast forward it until 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Right, okay. Right, so it's 40 seconds till the chime should go off. Let's see what it does. I'm quite curious to this. Right, 30 seconds to go. Can we hear it? Can we hear the chime? Yeah, and it's all 24-hour clocks based on some sort of universal time, because it's morning here, but actually it's evening on the local planet. Right, here we go. It's like 10, 9. Are we going to hear a chime? Oh. I suppose that counts. So yeah, even the church bells work. I know in a kind of not very good 16-bit way, but they work, okay? Oh, that is serious attention to detail, isn't it? Did it chime 6 times? I couldn't really count. It happened really fast. It sounded like it did. So anyway, that's definitely the alarm that would wake you in the morning. So all around the elite universe in the year 3200, analog clocks were a big thing. Okay, analog clocks had come back into fashion in a big way, all across the universe. And they're all Roman numeral clocks as well. So quite why the 6 has disappeared, I don't know, but there we go. But that just shows you the sort of slightly weird and a little bit alarmingly detailed, close attention to detail that's actually taken part in this game. That's the sort of stuff that people remember. It's definitely one of the features of the game. In the 33rd century, analog clocks were big, along with hats. Okay, hats and analog clocks. And all on ancient. So bear in mind, this game was developed in the early 90s. This game came out in 1993. Developed obviously a little bit done before on 16-bit computers, 16-bit OS. The entire game here is one floppy disk. It's less than a megabyte. And a reasonable facsimile of the universe is simulated. So I mean, we've just been tooling around a local set of star systems here. So within this star system are stack loads of planets, as you've already seen. I can, with my orrery, check this out. If I zoom out here, and this is the star system. If I think it's going to be easier if I zoom in actually on the interior planets, because we'll see them move quicker. I think, look here, I can simulate the movement of the planets. They do move, as simulated by the orrery. So it can simulate for me time moving as well inside the orrery, which I don't think Elite Dangerous can do. The planets will orbit around. Again, let's zoom in there. So there's Achenar 1. And we can see it orbiting the star. It's working out the maths. And it's all over the place. So if we look at Achenar 6, which is where we are right now, we can see the mini system of all these moons that are around Achenar 6. They will work as well. There you go. They're orbiting in their slightly different directions. And I think even if you go down to the individual world, Capitol here, we can see the space station orbiting around, and then the planet rotating too. Okay, so it's doing all of that everywhere in the universe, wherever you happen to be. That's how clever this game is. So not only can we fly down to a planet, land on the surface, see a clock update in real time, the same game engine here is able to simulate planets in a solar system with orbits, with rotation, with interplanetary flight and all that kind of stuff. It can also simulate a universe of stars, and there are a lot of stars here. We can scan up and down, vast amounts. Okay, and if I press shift, I think it goes like super fast. So it really is mad. It can do all that, and then it can also zoom out even further, right? So here's our local part of the galaxy, and we can zoom out from there as well. We can see our position in the galaxy. So in this version of the game back in 1993, you could, if you so wished, plot your way across the galaxy to do exploration and discovery as well. It wasn't nearly as easy, and your ship would break down after a while, but theoretically you could travel across the galaxy. Can you visit the Pleiades? I don't think. Well, I don't know. That's a very good point. It's in that direction. Does anybody know whether you can actually do that? Let's just try. I know it'll be. I mean, the Pleiades is what, 500 light years away, something like that. I think if I do. So there we go. Are the Pleiades actually in game? I have no idea. So that's putting us in approximately the right place for the Pleiades. Let's go up a bit. Yeah, so we can actually navigate around on this map. Are the Pleiades stars in the game? I couldn't tell you. But if they were, they should be in this sort of region. Is there a search? Does anybody know? Is there a search? Is there a search feature in this map for the stars? I don't know. I wonder if the Pleiades actually are in the game. I can't see them, but could really do with the search facility. Most of this stuff is procedurally generated, but again, like you say, that is tantalising that they would. There is a grid system. Yeah. I'm just looking at that, wondering if I go a little bit up. There they are. They are in the game. There's the Pleiades star cluster. There they are. Merope, Maya. Yeah. So they've again, presumably David Braben went to the trouble of putting the Pleiades into the game. You can go there. You can actually go there. There we go. Merope still exists. I didn't know that. Wow. Well, that's 383. We're gonna have to go there, aren't we? I mean, that's a thing we've definitely got to do. And there's even a nebula there. There's a 3D nebula. I assume we can't go to it because it's only the stars you can visit. But it has actually been represented with a nebula. So that's very cool. And check Maya. Okay, that's because we know about Maya. So there we go. What does it say about it? System of 20 major bodies. There's nobody there. Nobody lives there. There we go. That's it. How far could you actually get with the game stopped and you reach a certain... Oh, well, no, you could keep flying forever. The problem you had, Sapphire, was that your ship would break down. This bit here, where it talks about the maintenance... where is it? Here. Oh, I can't do it at the moment because we're landing rough. Basically, the problem was your ship needed a regular service. So that if you kept hyperspace jumping, after a while your ship would degrade and eventually would break down and you couldn't move anymore. That was the fundamental limit on how far you could get in the game, because there's no way to repair your ship when you're out and about other than going back to a port. So you couldn't travel that far beyond civilized space without your ship breaking down. So that is, I didn't know that. Let's have a quick look around the galaxy map. So yeah, all of this, Sigian Dub 08, yes, all of this was on a single floppy disk. 1 megabyte file is all the size of this game is, and this is the thing. It's one of the last games, I think. It probably isn't the last, but it's possibly one of the last games that was coded in pure machine code. So this was originally, I assume, coded in 68,000 assembler, and then converted to 8286 or 8386 code. Natively. Okay, so we're not talking about development in C++ or C or C# or anything like that. It is literally coded down to the metal. One of the last games that did that, in order to cram all this into such a small amount of space. So this has got me because there are a few things mapped on this, as you can see, mapped on this galactic map here. And now we know that if you put the dot approximately there, so is Betelgeuse and is Rigel in the game? Inquiry minds need to know. So let's go down, see if we can find Betelgeuse. So quite a long way down. Is Betelgeuse there? Right, should be up a little. and right a little. If anyone sees it, scream. That's too much. There it is. There's Betelgeuse. Boom. a supergiant star. Betelgeuse is in the game. Look at that. Wow. I haven't seen that before either. Look, it actually represents it with a massive curve, and there's Betelgeuse B, which is a hot A type. I don't know if it's the same like that in Elite Dangerous. How about that? I've never seen that before. Wow. There's Betelgeuse, and sort of represent. I wonder what it looks like if we could go there. We're going to have to go and visit some of these places when we get a decent ship that can actually jump that far. We're definitely going to have to do some exploration in. But that presumably means that Rigel is there as well, and Polaris, and maybe the Dumbbell Nebula. Let's go and visit the Dumbbell Nebula, just because. And Beta Lyrae. Couldn't tell you. Right, okay, so down a bit. I mean, David Braben's always been an astronomy buff, so that doesn't really surprise him that he would have put things like this in, but that's too much. So is the Dumbbell Nebula, is it here? Don't see it per se, unless there's just a gap in the chart there. Doesn't seem to be a nebula here anywhere obvious. Interesting though. So there are places you can go and explore. Can we get into oh, good point. Now Polaris in this area is before the story, isn't it? So the nebula should be sort of here. I don't know how many other real stars were put in the game. It'd be interesting to go and find out. Anyway, let's go up to Polaris. Can we get to Polaris? Oh, that was a bit far. Let's go back down again. That was way too far. Right, up a bit. It's not very easy to navigate around there. Where is Polaris? Here. Polaris. Right. Up and right. Should be somewhere here. There it is. Polaris is definitely there. A bright giant star, system explored, no registered settlements. Now we know from the second game, the third game, that there is some stuff that happens in this system, which I won't spoil because we'll play Frontier First Encounters in a bit. So you can get to Polaris. So this is pre that piece of lore, which is quite cool. So you can actually get there. So we'll definitely have to do some exploration. But that shows you, I mean, that shows you the genius of David Braben, what he was able to do. And I don't know how much Ian Bell had contributed to this as well, because both of them were, very, very clever at this sort of stuff. The procedural generation, mixing that with real stuff as well. But the Pleiades, Betelgeuse, Polaris, definitely in there. Now, here's one other thing that you may or may not know about Frontier Elite 2. If I zoom out on this view, check this, this is very cool. So not only can we see the whole of the Milky Way, but my friends, if we continue to zoom out, I think, is it not working? I thought that did. It doesn't seem to here. So, that's interesting. Okay, it doesn't work. In versions that I've played, I'm sure I'm not getting this wrong, you could zoom out further and you could see other galaxies. The other galaxies bugs happens on the... so it's not this version of the game. Or only on the Amiga version. Okay, so basically, I mean, they were clones. What was quite funny was they were obviously clones of this galaxy. It got patched, so maybe this is a patched version. Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to show you that. Basically, what used to happen is if you zoomed out far enough, you saw other galaxies, which is actually kind of right. There was no way to get to them because they were like a gazillion light years away. But you used to be able to zoom out, but obviously they've stopped the zoom, which is actually a bit of a shame because it kind of was realistic. Not that all the galaxies were identical, but that there were other galaxies out there. You used to be able to see them. So anyway, so in what's clever in this game engine, I can zoom, with a game that's less than a megabyte, sits on one floppy disk. I can look at a clock tower with accurate, realistic time, land on the surface of a planet with an atmosphere, and I can also zoom out to the farthest depths of space, all in the same game engine. That's why this game was, back then was so impressive, and it's still quite impressive today because nothing's really, even Elite Dangerous. I mean, the graphics are way superior, the sound is way superior, all those things, okay, are way superior. There's absolutely no doubt about it, not even comparable. But the scale of ambition in this game. Because and in some ways I think gameplay has suffered from this a bit, is that because you have to spend so much time today on graphics and so much time on sound design and so much time on all those other bits and pieces, the resolution is so high, the frame rates, all that kind of stuff, it's very, very hard to match the scale of ambition that you have in a game like this, because this game can't do, we couldn't do those level of graphics, you just couldn't do them in these days. You couldn't do that level of audio fidelity, but what you could do is you can have the scope and ambition for a much larger game, because you just couldn't waste you couldn't spend that much time on graphics and sound because the machines of the era weren't capable of it, but the scope you could. And Elite Dangerous doesn't have yet the scope of this game in many, many ways. It has lots of other things it could do which this one can't, but in many important ways this game is still bigger. Which seems amazing, but it's because of the emphasis on different things. That's why this game is so fondly remembered by people who play Elite Dangerous now but played these games in the past, is that there was a real sense of a massive, massive universe, and you could go anywhere. You could land anywhere. You could land on planets with atmospheres, planets without atmospheres. So if you've ever wondered why haven't we got atmospheric landings has come from, this game is to blame, okay? maybe we'll get analog clocks back with Odyssey. There'll be some ways you can go and just stare at a clock tower. That'd be really good. So anyway, so there we go. So that's a bit of a historical aside for Frontier Elite 2. Let's get back into space, because we haven't been doing anything. And I've now, because I'm landed rough, I can't do anything. I can just take off. I don't need to do permission. So let's launch our Cobra up into space. We'll say goodbye to our dear clock. And there we go. And put the undercarriage up. And thrust majestically away from the surface. Let me just turn that sound down for you a bit, because it gets annoying very, very fast. There we go. And there you go. It's rendering a city of types. There are, there's habitable areas, roads, a river. There's some clouds, there's some mountains, and it does a little bit of strange clipping, but you can kind of fly over the top of the mountain, which I'll do, and look back on the city. And this was the sort of thing that was a little bit, I suppose, almost majestic, particularly for the time. It was flight simulatory at this point. You could sort of fly over the mountain, and as you got to the top of the mountain, and we're taking off at night here. There we go. Let's just accelerate a bit. There we are. We're near the top of a snow-capped mountain. As we pass the top of the snow-capped mountain, we can swing back with the external camera. And it took Elite Dangerous a long time to get an external camera. This is one of the things we loved doing back then. There's Duval City as seen from the air. You get a sense of being there, which I think is very important. a sort of romance, I suppose, is maybe that's the right word. Maybe that's how I'm looking back on it now. A romance of flying a spaceship, which this game gave you, which not many other games did. Because you could do, like we're doing now, we're not under any threat, we're not under any attack, we don't have to go anywhere, we don't have to be anywhere. We can just tootle around. Now we're thrusting up quite fast to get away from the ground. But you can sort of tour around, and it's nice and it's sort of relaxing, in a sort of weird sort of way. That's something that was a bit strange about this game. So anyway, so there we go. So there's Duval City. So Duval City, it is named after. So this is long before the power play characters are born. Of course, this is 100. This is actually. So this is 100 years before Elite Dangerous, so none of them are born. But the Duval dynasty is exactly the same. So Aisling Duval, Arissa Duval, all that lot are descended from the people who are in charge at the present time in this game. So all that's connected. So there's no levels. That's a very good point, actually, Arcturus Deluxe. There's no levels in this game. You're just in the universe. There's no cutscenes. There's nothing. It's just the game. You're always in the game. There's no loading levels. It's totally seamless as it transitions from planet. As you can see, I'm just thrusting up from the planet, where now you've got the curve of the horizon. You've got the atmosphere, you've got space. As we leave the planet, you can see the sea. So that city is on the coast. It is, we can go anywhere, with limitations. We can go anywhere in the universe, land anywhere in the universe, go to any space station, see it orbiting, all of those things. And it's a game that, like you say, just never ends. You kind of either love it or you hate it. It can be, as you've seen, it can be intensely boring at times. It can be very frustrating, but it does have, I think romance is almost the right word. It has a romance about it, which is compelling. There's something that keeps you coming back to it, to keep playing. Oh, what if there's something else beyond the next system? What if there's something? What if I go there today? Because the RNG will treat you to a different thing, and you can look behind the magic curtain and know it's just RNG. But this game was very, very good at hiding that from you. In a way that I don't think Elite Dangerous is quite nailed in some ways. Some of the missions in this game feel more compelling than the ones we get in Elite Dangerous. The ones in Elite Dangerous are very much go here, do that, do this, get reward, which is fine. That's a mission. Whereas in this game, there's a little bit of poetry in the writing, and I think the writing here is better. It's we want so and so to have a pleasant retirement in the so-and-so system. Things like that are clever. It's better written. It's as simple as that. It's better written. There's more attention to detail in the verisimilitude, I think is the right word, of the universe than perhaps Elite Dangerous has at times. People seeing this in '93, people knowing that Elite Dangerous was coming in, say, 2012, 2013, we had seen this back in '93, so we knew David Braben was capable of this back then. What was David Braben going to be capable of 20 years later with the modern hardware? So, our expectations were probably way too high. That is a difficult thing for anybody to manage. But, it is what it is. And there we go, we're in space now, and the atmosphere kind of falls behind us in that rather clever way. It curves it back around the system. And as we fly away, that will, at a certain point, it'll disappear. We can even see the terminator of the planet, So again, bear in mind this is 1990. Then it cuts the atmosphere off at a certain distance, which is fine. It's rendering. And then if I switch the engines down to 0 at this point, we'll probably stay in a sort of orbit. Let me just actually switch the engines off entirely. There we go. And again, from here, probably going too fast, but you can see the planet is rotating. So it's doing all that semi-realistically, which is very, very clever. I'm still impressed by it today. Anyway, right, we're yeah, that's there's no use being there. So let's get ourselves back to somewhere. Zip. Right, there we go. So Seoul and Akinar and stuff is directly south. It's funny that we can't navigate in that view. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I need to find out roughly where we are. There we go. So Imperial Systems. Okay, so we are. Where are we? We're in Akinar, aren't we? So okay, that's good. Right. So let's get ourselves a. How much time have I got? About 10 minutes. Let's get ourselves to a space station. And I'll get a cargo of. Well, let's just see what's available. Fort Donald's Orbital City. There it is. I've probably gone way past it actually. There we go. It's going to turn us around because actually look, there's the space station in orbit around the planet. Went way past it. Now I'm going to have to take the poor ship all the way back again. And again, you'll see here as I speed up time slowly, the space station is orbiting the planet. Although we may not see it from our perspective. It's possibly orbiting towards us actually. Anyway, let's get back to the space station. There we go. Dun 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 dun. Right. So we are here. Is there anything worth doing? Bum, 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 bum. I'm glad I was able to show you that though, because that's important. Not much progress. No, we made a bit of money, but you know, I had to show you the clock. It was very important for me to show you the clock. It's one of the key parts of the game that not everybody always appreciated. It serves no purpose at all. And I don't know how much coding was involved in doing that for something that the vast majority of people probably flew straight by without even spotting. But yeah, it's a thing. It's part of the game, and those of us who knew it remember that sort of stuff. Right, so Honest John's. Nobody called Honest John is honest. Fast ship, Francois, Galactic Welfare, passage over fast ships, Allison, payment. No real money to be made here. So let's take a. What does Facey want? Its major imports are slaves, luxury goods and industrial parts. So it's good to take luxury goods from here. So let's do that. How much fuel do I need to get there? 3 tons of fuel. I'm going to refuel the ship anyway, because that's always sensible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dun, 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 dun. There we go, refuel the ship. And let's buy a bunch of luxury goods. There we go. I've got something else on board that's cargo bay life support, which I don't need at the moment. Really, well, I don't need the atmospheric shield and I don't need the cargo bay life support, so let's get rid of that because I'm not going to need them for a little bit. Once I get a slightly bigger ship, I will do that. But for the moment being, every ton of space is counting towards buying stuff. So I never knew it chimed. No, I didn't know that. So that was very cool to see. So isn't it weird how after so many years, I mean 1993, how long ago is that? It's like it's 2021 now. Okay, so it's 28 years ago. And we're still finding new things out about this game. I didn't know the Pleiades were in there, and I didn't know the clocks chimed. So, can I get a free Conda in this version? I assume the Anaconda's in here, but I don't think there's a free one. No, it's a long time ago. You know, 2021 plus another 7 back to 1993. So it's 28 years, still learning new things about the game. So we're going to have to go and let's get our Imperial career. I think we should take a trip out to the Pleiades at the very least. Okay, at the very least, I think that's important. So we can do a tiny little bit of exploration. Not that there's an exploration rating in this game. Can we get a look at some of the ships? There aren't many for sale here. Let me show you a couple while we're here. Because we're in Imperial space, there isn't much choice. There are only really 3 Imperial ships. There's the Imperial Trader, the Imperial Courier, and the Eagle Long Range Fighter. I think it's kind of the Mark III version, which is sort of the Imperial Eagle, but it doesn't really look like it. In fact, it's not that one. That's a basic one. So that's just the basic. That's the basic bog standard Eagle. A lifter's quite amusing. This ship doesn't have a hyperdrive; it's only used for travelling around system. So it's a very odd. You can sort of see the 3 cargo canisters actually strapped to the outside of the ship, with some thrusters here, and then the cockpit's kind of up here. It's virtually the most basic ship you can possibly imagine. It's literally just designed for pulling cargo around, which is quite funny. It is possible to make a living using that ship, but not very easily. There's only an Eagle long-range fighter here at the moment. Now, the one I want to get is the Imperial Courier, which is this ship. Okay, it's a sort of catamaran style ship, and it has these twin engines. It's fast, it's big, it's got loads of space on board, and it's just very, very cool. Okay. And when it's stationary, these nacelles don't spin, but when it's up and about, the ship extends this flight gear, to a sort of catamaran style, and those nacelles spin around, which is very, very cool. So that's what I want to get, okay, because that's the coolest ship in the game. But I can't afford it now. It's very, very expensive. So the other one is the Imperial Trader, which has a sort of Blake 7 vibe. If you're British, you'll know what I mean. It's bigger than the Imperial Courier, has the extra engine nacelle on top, but despite that, it's not as fast. But it's got massive cargo space aboard. And on this one, the top nacelle doesn't spin, but the bottom 2 do, and it also does the kind of funky extension of the nacelles when it's in flight. So those things are very cool. We will get to those. Those are the only ships I think I can show you at the moment. What you'll notice also is that depending on which one you buy, this Imperial Courier here has red and blue flashings and blue markers on the back. There are variations, so this one doesn't have any markings at all, as you can see. So there are small ship variations. You can't apply your own custom paint job to any of these ships in this game, but the ships are distinct in the sense that you can buy them with different hull markings on. This one's sort of a mid-range one with just some blue flashing on the side. We may find others as well. That one's just got blue flashing as well. So there's small variations in the ships that you can buy. That one doesn't have any markings at all. And some of the ships have like snakeskin paint jobs and sorts of things. You can't choose them specifically, but you can buy them when you go and get the different ship. Unfortunately, you can't keep them. You can only have one ship at a time in this game. So you basically always part exchange your ship and can only own one ship at a time. But it's very, very cool. It's still quite cool. And you can see with the Eagle long range fighter, it's got that one's green. There are various different colours. I don't think our current Cobra has much on it. We got just a sort of metal coloured paint job on it, basically sort of bare metal one. But you can search the galaxy. You spent a lot of time on this game searching for a particular ship, okay, that had the colours and the markings that you wanted of that type of ship. That was quite important. And because you couldn't own different ships, what you did was you basically would have multiple save games. This is only a single player game. There is no multiplayer in this at all. But you could basically, because you could have save games, you could save all the different types of ships. So you sort of had your own fleet yard, but different save games. So you'd have your Cobra here, and you'd have your Anaconda over there, and you'd have your Imperial Courier, and so you'd have multiple commanders, if you like, in different save games. That's the way it worked. So anyway, let's do one final run. Let's get ourselves to face it, because over here are usually some good Imperial missions. So we'll try that just in the closing minutes of my stream. Let's get ourselves underway. Launch request. Out we go. Through the airlock. Because I can speed up time. That's another really, really good thing. Yes, you can get Shark's Teeth Cobra. That's right. Yeah, that was cool. Put the undercarriage up. Hyperspace. Really fast. Get some natty in-game music. And then let's go to, where was it? Matthews Hole. We don't want to go to Matthews Hole. I just don't fancy that. Let's go to New America. And there's a space station there. Patriot Depot. Let's go there. We have an autopilot. So it's funny actually looking at this from a kind of lore perspective, because lots of technology in the Elite universe has disappeared over the last century. So there is no frame shift drive or anything like that in this game. It's all done in real space. We actually have to travel there in real time. So you'll notice we've arrived in the system on 11th of December, but we have to employ the Star Dreamer to get us to our destination. And notice how much time passes before we actually arrive at the space station. We don't. It's now the 12th, and it's soon going to be the 13th. So actually, in this era of space travel and elite, we travel through real space, and it actually takes us literally, and I mean the word literally here in its literal context, literally takes us days to get there. It took us 3 days to travel from the place we hyperspaced in to get to the space station. So there's no frame shift drive in doing that in a matter of seconds as we see in Elite Dangerous. It's 3 days worth of travel, which is sped up by this time compression system that we have on board. Docking music, you may be familiar with, but so that's how the law has changed. Now, one of the things that's missing, or at least has been missing for quite a while, but is now back in Elite Dangerous, is the autopilot. The sort of frame shift cruise assist, super cruise assist. That's what it's called nowadays, which isn't quite an autopilot. In this era, the spaceships could fly themselves completely automatically to the destination. Oh, and now the police are after me. And so now we get some DRM just to finish off the day. So autopilot technology in the last 100 years has been lost mysteriously. And there are a few other strange law oddities between this game, which is 100 years before Elite Dangerous, and Elite Dangerous itself. So autopilots, I completely forgot how to make those. Don't know how they work, which is a bit strange, and a few other bits and pieces which we can cover in another stream. But there we go. Anyway, so this is DRM. Okay, so this is digital rights management in 1993. So police officer Boston, we're doing spot checks on starships. Okay, so I have to have the original game manual, which fortunately I do have, and I've got to turn to page 10, which is here. There's page 10. And line 7 of word 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. It actually says these allow the pilot to alter the. The seventh word is the, and the first letter of the is T, and it lets me into the game. There you go. Digital rights management, 1993 style. So anyway, so we're here. The first thing to do is just check the bulletin board, just in case somebody wants some luxuries and are willing to pay crazy money for them, which they aren't. I don't usually get very lucky on those. I have occasionally. So anyways, luxury goods we now sell. There we go. And we're now at 155,000 credits. So we've made a bit of progress today. There we go. Right, so we haven't got any. Well, I did get my imperial title of master. I am now master. I'm still below average, but we did kill a couple of people today, so that's good. I've shown you the clock tower. That's important as well. And we continue on our quest. My initial thing now, I'm going to add that to our list of things. I want to get the Imperial Courier because it's the coolest ship in the game. But we got to go and visit the Pleiades. We've discovered today that the Pleiades are in. There they are. They are in this version of the game. So we've got to go out there and have a look, just because it's important. So there we go. But anyway, that's for another episode. So thank you once again for your company today. Thank you very much for the raid from the Martians. I do appreciate that. That's really, really good. Lovely to see you all on stream today. I'm back on Monday for my normal sci-fi just chatting stream. If you want to see me there, we've got more Elite Dangerous shenanigans going on next Thursday and some stuff to do in between then. That would be very awesome. Lovely to have you on stream. Have a fantastic rest of the weekend, and I will see you all soon. Be good, and right on, Commanders 07. See you soon, my friends. Be good.